Hey there everybody! What game is this? This is a space game that is currently in development called Kinetic Void. Oh, it's got a really good soundtrack. I like it. Now, currently Kinetic Void doesn't really have much to it. As you can see in the upper left corner, it is in build 0.011. Kerbal Space Program is further along in development than this game is. That's a little bit loud. Is there a sound control? No, there's no sound control yet. Alright, I'm gonna have to switch out of game for a moment. There, that's a little bit better. I wish there was a sound control. There's a controls screen which doesn't tell you anything, which is a major problem that the game has. But fortunately, if you do have this on Steam, you can use Shift and Tab to open up the Steam interface thing, and there's a guide for the controls over on the right side. Display, it's got a 0x0 resolution. What the heck is that? No screen? It's on fastest quality. Game, nothing for that yet. So there's still a lot to do. But I do have a galaxy currently started called the ExoCorpus. Now, don't think I've ever mentioned this before, but when I first started playing Minecraft multiplayer, I always tried making a business called ExoCorp, which would basically be a tall tower structure with multiple floors, a cafeteria, sales floor, storage area above my living quarters. And I was thinking, what if that had actually become a success? Better yet, how would I do it with an interplanetary style stuff? So I went on and created a few ships, thinking of what I would have a corporation of mine actually using. So, first off, there's the cargo ship. A very simple ship, proudly displaying ExoCorpus colors. Actually, those aren't my final colors. I was just kind of tinkering around with it. If I find colors I like, I will switch the colors over to that. Probably when the game's further along in development. Right now, the game seems mostly to be a ship creator. So, we have now a standard trucker looking cockpit. Oops. Standard trucker looking cockpit and 3 cargo containers. Now the center cargo container holds the most space. The ones on the left and right have cargo space as well, but also have crew quarters and places where they can eat. And the things on the side here, I forgot what's in there. I think they're generators, so that the ship has power. Which it has a little bit more power than it actually needs, which is always a good thing, I guess. You know, have more power than you need so you can have power. It's got 3 engines on the back so it can actually, you know, travel at a decent speed. And it supports 4 turrets on the top and 4 turrets on the bottom. These are mainly anti-piracy turrets. It's also got 1 set up on the front cab and 3 stationary cannons for forward firing. This is for if anyone... well, really it's for shooting anything in front of it. This could be asteroids that are in the way, or pirate ships that have managed to get in front of the cargo ship, or even hostile competition. But I encourage you not to worry about that right now. Next up we have... this cruise liner thing actually was from something different, I think. Yeah, this was just an attempt at making a cruiser class ship, which ended up looking kind of like a part of a robot. If there was more stuff on the bottom, it would look like a robot. But this is not an official X-Core thing. Let's see, let's go with the heavy fighter. There we go. I'm still getting used to the camera controls for this ship bay thing. This is a heavy fighter. Essentially, it's a bomber. It has multiple stationary forward cannons and a few minimal defensive turrets. This thing is designed to be docked on much larger carrier ships. Which is something I hope that they add to the game, a carrier ship class with places that your fighters and heavy fighters can dock in. Of course, you'd have to have a limited space for them, but it'd still be pretty cool. This thing actually does have 3 engines on the back, which is what makes up the back half of the ship. And I think it looks pretty interesting. Next up we have the X-Core Strike Craft. This thing is much more plane-like in design, although a little awkward looking as well. It's space. Things don't have to look aerodynamic. It can be a flying box. Just look at the Borg. This thing is designed more along the lines of high-speed pursuits, which it manages quite well. It travels at a rate of 2.2 something kilometers per second. Pretty good speeds. Then there is the Guardian an official one? I don't know if the Guardian is. Nope, that's actually just a redesign, one of the X-Core cruise liner thing. Yeah, it's still not official. The frigate, however, is. Actually, let's get rid of this stupid Guardian ship and the cruise liner. Alright, so there's only 4 X-Core ships I've made. A cargo ship, some strike craft, and a frigate. Now, the frigate is actually a frigate-class ship. And it is a pretty decent size. It is designed to have maximum forward firepower with large guns pointed towards the front of the ship. The bow. But it also has the capability of broadsiding. It has 6 turrets on the side, which can track any ship that's on this side of the ship, in order to rain down a hail of bullets. And along the top it basically has miniguns, which can rotate to either the left or right side, meaning that the best place to have a ship target is towards the starboard bow or port bow. Basically that means towards this area of the ship or this area of the ship. As if they're in this area, they will receive both the broadsiders and and the forward-facing ones, because these will rotate too and can rotate to anything within this area. Basically, you see these gray lines on the bottom here? Anything within those gray areas can receive maximum firepower from the broadside. But we're not here to look at old ships, we are here to make a new ship. We are going to make the biggest ship I have made so far. I really don't know how loud this music is compared to my voice. I'm going to actually check that quick. So, be back in a second. Alright, so it turned out that the music volume was actually pretty good compared to my voice. Although, I don't know if it turned back up or not. It's really hard to tell! Anyway, we need to make a new spaceship. We're gonna switch the colors right now to ExoCorpus colors. See, a deep dark purple, vibrant blue, more vibrant. That's vibrant enough. Jeez, I love this soundtrack so much. I think that works. We'll see how it turns out. So we're going to switch this from size 1 to size 5. And we're going to switch over to the hull. And this is where things are going to get pretty interesting. Zoom out. What hull are we going to use? That white dot was, that is only a little bit smaller than the strike craft I made. Which means this thing is really quite large. It has 4 connection points on top, 3 on the sides. That's actually pretty good. Who needs a cargo pod that big? So this is the start of our new ship. Right now it's classed as a heavy fighter. Does it know how big this thing is? This is more than a heavy fighter. Let's see. One thing I think is kind of neat is that the CNC will switch depending on your size. Right now it's got only 2, but if I switch down to 4, it's got different ones. Switch down to 3, oh look, more different ones. Down to 2, we got even better different ones. And 1, basically these are the fighter type. So what does this one look like? Holy giant bridge! Whoa! you can make some pretty immense ships in this thing. I mean, jeez, why would you need this? Look, the first ship, the smallest ship I showed you, I think can have 2 people in it? I don't know. I don't know the size of these dang things. There's not really much good perspective on them. But if that's the case, then this part alone can house a small city. A small village, I mean. A small town. Small town girl. Apparently it has a lot of connection points though, so... yeah, it has a significant amount of connection points there. I don't even know if this thing is pointing upside down or not. I'm guessing by the picture that it is pointing in the right direction, though. In fact, let's remove this. We're going to work off this thing. This thing already looks like a ship itself, but it does not have enough stuff for us. So we need to add more stuff. No, we're going to remove it all. That thing was just... that was huge. I'm going to go with this one because I do like this one. Let's switch down to size 4. Look how big of a difference size 5 is to size 4. They're still pretty massive, honestly. I think it's out. That is an amazingly symmetrical command. I like it. It works. Let's see, then we're going to need some engines. There! Jeez, I kept spinning right past it. And one here. There we go. I like how this one is starting to look. We are now classed as a destroyer, which I think is a pretty good class, honestly. What's better, frigate or destroyer? I think a destroyer. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. So, weapons. There is a ton of weapons. Unfortunately, none of them are any different than the other. Basically, they are, what kind of look do you want your ship to have? Well, honestly, I want my ship to destroy things. So we're going to use some fixed cannons. Not that size. That's not big enough. Here we go. And have the same thing over there. Alright. Then we will need... we will put some weapons on here as well. Adds more forward firepower. It's looking good. And if need be, I can add some more parts right behind the command center, command pod, whatever you want to call it. Switch down to size 4 weaponry, and we're going to add some fixed weaponry to the front. It's so hard to see. How about this one instead? Actually, let's switch it down to size 3 instead. Cannot place here. Doesn't explain why. What if it's this cannon? Oops. I'll get to that modify thing in a second. So this thing is definitely meant to be a ship that shoots forward. Come on, camera controls, work with me. So on the top we have forward firing cannons. We're going to add some actual turrets on the bottom. Specifically cannon turrets. Or turret cannons, whatever you want to call them. Of course they are going to face forward as well. Because that's where they're going to be shooting the most effects out of. Here we can have a triple gun. We shall do the same up top. we go. Now we need some broadsiders, so we are going to use quad cannons. Quad guns. Which quad gun? Let's go with this one. That looks pretty Perfect. So that is the broadside setup. Going to do the same thing on the other side. Broadside cannons are in place. Let's see, what else do we need? We need... Actually, I think that we're going to call this good enough for now. Technically, we can add more, but it's more better. Not always. Not always. So, let's start out with the engines. Now, this menu is where you can remove, modify, or set up subsystems for an item. Modify just lets you move it around again. Remove will remove it. Subsystems opens up this interface, which has a lot of information that does not mean anything yet. Except for engines. Engines basically are how much speed do you want your thing to have. Since this is a destroyer, I think a decent amount of speed would be a good idea. So let's give it engine 3. We'll give it the 2-slot one. Size 2. Volume 6. Yeah, I don't know what any of these numbers mean. They are pointless. And we'll give it engine boosters, size 6, or number 6, size 2. I don't know what that means at all. What does it mean? Someone tell me. Yeah. Lack of information is infuriating. Absorption plating, so it has some defense. And ballistic plating. And deflective plating. There we go. Alright, so that's going to be the engine setup. And when you right-click to move around, it's going to tell you how much power you need to actually power your engines. And subsystems and whatnot. Right now, we need 100. So if we do the same thing on every single one of these, now we need 300. So, how do you get power? Well, you get power by setting it up inside one of these hulls. Inside hulls, you have a slightly different setup. You can put in your plating, of course. There's cargo bays, which I assume is where you would store goods or weapons or water for your crew. There's crew quarters, which of course is going to be what houses your crew. I will give them... We'll give them this one. Crew quarters 3, size 2. And mess hall 2, size 2. So this is going to change our power need as well to 535. Alright. And we'll set up the same subsystems on this side. What were they again? Crew quarters 3-2. Mess hall 2-2. Can't remember. Let's see. Compound plating 1-1. Crew quarters 3-2. Medical bay 2-1. Mess hall 2-2. Recreation 2-2. Reflective plating 1-3. Okay, good. I was getting mostly right. There we go. Now we're up to 770 for our power needed. Subsystem. This one we will add a cargo bay size 3. Actually, no. We'll try size 5. Nope, that is way too big. Size 4. That gives us a... Wow, this actually has a lot of space in it. We'll go with size 3, actually, because I want to make sure that we have enough power. So, reactor 3, size 4. How much power does that give us? Whoa! 10,000 power. Okay, that's a little bit much. Reactor 3, size 2 should be more than enough. Apparently not. Reactor 3, size 3. How about that? 2,000. Perfect. Subsystems. We can upgrade the cargo bay to size 4 then. Not that it does anything, but I like to have it. else can I put in here? Mess Hall 2-2. Jump Drive 1, and Absorption Plating. Then there is this part, which basically can house significantly less items, mostly armor and sensors. We're going to use sensor 1, size 4, no, size 3. And booster size 3. Reflective plating 4 with compound plating 3. There. And we are ready to launch. But first we need to give this a name. Oh, this is now classed as an escort cruiser. I did not realize that there was such a thing as an escort cruiser. And we're going to call it an ExoCorpus. Vanguard. There we go. Save that, and we're going to launch it. And as long as the game doesn't crash... Yay! There we go. So here we are out in space. The ExoCorpus Vanguard is ready to take a look around and see what there is. Now, controls are very finicky, or, well, very hard to figure out, not finicky. But basically, R is accelerate, F is decelerate, and reverse. If you hold Shift and press F, it will turn off your engines completely. And if you hold Shift and press R, you will fire to full throttle. And there's a ship over there. We're going to go take a look at it. Go full throttle. And full throttle is only 0.29 kilometers per second. Wow, that's actually pretty slow. How about you? You're kind of close. I don't really know what the point of these extra ships are because there isn't any yet. The extra ships are just here, and you can click on them to check them out and see how close they are. Of course, everyone's going away from me, so I feel sad. If you hit N, it will show space stations, which are usually quite far away. However, the distance doesn't matter if you hold Shift and press T. That will engage warp drive. And if you hold Shift and press T again, it will turn it off. So we're going to turn it off right now. And that is still a long ways away. This one is closer, but still far. Basically, this is a huge, huge area, and it takes you forever to get anywhere. I don't believe there's a time warp feature, which can speed up your time. There's only a mini warp, which is what I just did. But this is a space game, and for those who don't know, I love space games. I basically have bought pretty much every space game that has caught my fancy ever since I started playing games. I have Kerbal Space Program. I have Dark Star 1, or whatever it was called. Dark Star, I think is the name, just Dark Star. I have Dark Star on the Xbox, which I play occasionally. I haven't beat the game, because it's a fairly slow game. I do enjoy flying around with it, though. What else? I could show you how combat works. I have Sins of the Solar Empire, which is my favorite 4X kind of game, although I don't play competitively. I hate playing RTS games competitively, because I can never, ever win. I'm not good enough. Oh, hey, a spaceship. It seems our top speed is 0.29 kilometers per second. That's not that good. Space games have I owned? Honestly, not much. Another ship. Space games off the top of my head. I don't think I'm going to be getting close to any of these ships. I mean, hopefully I can get close to this one, because then we can actually do some combat. In fact, maybe we are close enough for combat. If you hit C, you will target a ship as an enemy. And by default, all of your weapons will be bound to the 1 key. If you press G, you can rebind your keys, assuming you can figure out which weapon is which. But if you press 1, you will open fire, which all the weapons do the exact same kind of attack. If I zoom in, you can kind of see the little special effects for it. We are kind of getting a broadside in here as well, which is pretty good. Unfortunately, this ship might be well out of range, so our efforts to attack it are pointless. Hey, I think that's the same ship as mine, isn't it? Ship, it stays red because it's now hostile towards me. Of course, I haven't really had much encounters with other ships shooting at me. I've also noticed that the special effects for the engines stay the same size no matter how big the engines are. Ship is significantly closer. So let's target it and open fire. I don't know if we're actually doing damage yet. We could be, but I doubt it. Oh, there's 1% damage. 2%. Wheel around to fire our forward cannons at it. Oh, and it's gone. I don't know what the heck that is. It suddenly launches off screen. There, we'll leave these guys to fire. Because who knows, it might get destroyed. And I think I'm going to end the episode here. We've been going on long enough. This is Kinetic Void. Essentially, this build is currently a ship builder, which you can make awesome looking ships. And I seem to have run out of video space, so hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe and fave. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Goodbye. Also, do a barrel roll.